Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the 770th day of continuous and uninterrupted Zoom session of IFPH. Today's our guest is Dr. Hubert De Silva. He is the chief editor of IFPH online magazine, and the subject is management of neurological and psychological disorders, homeopathy. On behalf of IFPH, I welcome Dr. Hubert De Silva. You can have the platform for next 45 minutes. It is over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. Today, we are dealing a different subject. It is very, it may make some confusion in many minds. That is why, because Hahnemann described this subject in his aphorisms, last aphorisms, in 5th edition and 6th edition. So this is a vast subject, and we have to manage it. How? Let us just think about it. Keep quiet until the right time to speak, and you will gain a reputation for good sense. Siraki on 24. Keep quiet until the right time to speak, and you will gain a reputation for good sense. That means we should talk whenever the circumstance needed. Otherwise, we make any speeches means it may, if it is not the right circumstance, then it will adversely affect. That is what it says. Then whenever we talk in the apt time and apt words, you will get good reputation. That is what Siraki says. So let us try to understand things. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, in his last aphorisms, said, I find it is necessary to allude here to animal magnetism, as it is termed, or rather mesmerism, as it should be called, out of gratitude to Mesmer, its first founder, which differs so much in its nature from all other therapeutic agents. This curative power, often so stupidly denied, which streams upon a patient by the contact of a well-intentioned person, powerfully exerting his will, either acts homeopathically by the production of symptoms similar to those of the disease state to be cured. And for this purpose, a single pass made without much exertion of the will, with the palms of the hands, not too slowly from the top of the head downwards over the body to the tips of the toes. This is a method of treatment used in that time, and also nowadays some psychiatrists are using this power. Is it possible? Somebody says that these are all nonsense. But we don't think that, because Hahnemann himself said that somebody think that it is a stupidity, but it is a real reality. We can treat with our hands, our power, our words, with powerful exertion. That is what that is used with the vital force. Our vital force, if our vital force is stronger than the person who is coming before us, we can treat him with our powerful vital force, exert on him, and we can make a cure. So it must be a very important thing, but we have to know, we have to practice it. We have to, each and every time, we have to be energized. Like a battery, we should make ourselves stronger, stronger, stronger. Then only we can treat the patient. So this is another word he said, that an opposite mode of employing mesmerism. However, as it is produced, just the contrary effect. Sometimes it must be very much careful. If you are using that power in a different manner, if it is not in the proper manner, then it will affect adversely to the patient. To this belong to the passes which are used to rouse from the somnambulic sleep, as also all the manual processes known by the names of soothing and ventilating. This discharge by means of negative mesmerism of the vital force accumulated to excess in individual parts of the system of undebilitated person is most surely and simply performed by making a very rapid motion of the flat extended hand held parallel to and about an inch distant from the body, from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. What I I read this. Can you follow me? I want to ask you whether you can follow me.
Yes, yes.
So this process, we can see that this is Mesmer, Franz Mesmer. He is a contemporary of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. I think so. So he was using this power, hypnotism. His name, mesmerism, came from his name. He's who invented hypnosis? Franz Mesmer. The history of hypnosis dates back to the late 18th century when Franz Mesmer, a German physician, developed mesmerism, his beliefs about the balance of magnetic power in our body using animal magnetism. Let us applaud Dr. Samuel Hahnemann for his contemporary and another doctor. He is saying his powers and he is using that power. These are the powers are using for to, without medicine we can use it. So he congratulated him, that doctor. He accepted him. So we should also accept him because this power is using. So this Mesmer, who was using this, we can see that he was using this power for this animal magnetism. Every human being have his own power. This he says that passes. What is a passes? This is just above the body, lying down. A person is lying down, and the person who is doing mesmerism passing from the head to the toes. Some length will be just above the body. He is passing for several times. Through that, our power will exert on that body, and if there is anywhere it is not properly maintained, then it will clear. So in some persons, if it is not using properly and the passes are not done correctly, then it will somewhere it may accumulate some part of the body, and sometimes the person may collapse. That is why here you can read that chapters 294 and 293. Then you can see that in the footnotes how these are doing, what are the problems created. Some doctors not knowing it perfectly, then doing this. So let us go to another thing. Then we may think, who was the first person who done this process? Let us see one verse from Bible. Then God said, let us make a man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish and the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. He created man. After that, he done another thing. He was the first person, we can see in the history, that he hypnotized that person, the first man, and done a surgery. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, anesthetist. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and closed up the place with flesh. Genesis 2:22. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man. And he brought her to the man. Genesis 2:22-3 said, the man said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. So God hypnotized man and into a deep sleep. He sent him into a deep sleep, and from him he took a bone from man and made a lady. That is why man is attracted by woman. Nothing can make more than it. Nothing in this world. A man loves woman. That relationship is that much strong. If it is broken by anybody, then the problem of all, we know that Mahabharata. One incident, Panjali was removed her clothes by Dushasana. That time Panjali said that, I will show you. That lady made an oath and Mahabharata Yuddha. That much strong. So, ladies, so from man, ladies came. Let us see. Here, one more thing I can show you. This is also a healing process. The next day, when they came down from her mountain, a large crowd met him. A man in the crowd called, Teacher, I beg you to look at my son, for he is my only child. A spirit seizes him, and he suddenly screams. It throws him into convulsions so that he foams at the mouth. It scarcely ever leaves him and is destroying him. I begged your disciples to drive it out, but they could not. Oh, unbelieving and perverse generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you and put up with you? Bring your son here. Even while the boy was coming, the demon threw him to the ground in a convulsion. But Jesus rebuked the evil spirit, healed the boy, and gave him back to his father. We can see that here, this is called exorcism. Pudocharnam. We in our India, we have also some sort of practices, whether we can accept it or deny it. But there is a right. You can see that in Mani Chitratal, there is a famous film. In Mani Chitratal, that's exorcism. He's doing that, doctor doing exorcism. But this is from the beginning itself, it was a really a truth. I never say that what Hahnemann says that this process can be done with the power of a person, we can heal. Whenever a doctor, each and every doctor, if a youngster says that, a patient says say to the patient that you will be healed, they won't believe it. If he says it with power, they will not. Oh, yeah. But another expert doctor says that he, in a simple voice, it will be okay. Within 2 days, he will believe. That much power, if the word is that much gives an important, because we know that Eshdas, he is singing for the last many years. Why? So many people are singing, but some persons are singing more touching our hearts. Touching our hearts. That may move. A powerful person can do this. And another thing, we can see that I said demons. Is it reality or something you baseless? What is your in mind? What is in your mind? One day Our Abraham Vaidyan, Dr. Abraham Vaidyan said that some person, if stops drinking, then another person in his home starts drinking. That time he stopped it because he said that it may, some may think that this is some sort of blind beliefs, but it is right. On person, on how this power can be a doctor, whenever a doctor practicing for a long time, that time his power automatically improve, more and more increase. How it is happening? Whenever a doctor hearing from the person his secrets, he never said anybody, but he always open everything to his doctor, who him believe, and who he has faith in the doctor. He will say everything. That time there is a power change will happen from the person to the doctor. This is always happening each and every time. Whenever we are talking to others or we are hearing others, that time there is energy flowing from one part to another. If the person is stronger, then more and more power will attach with him and increase by increase. Day by day, the doctor will get increased. So he is like it's battery charged. So that person can do hypnotism. He can exert power, he can use it. That is what Dr. Samuel Hahnemann said in his years back. William Thomas Green Morton, the father of modern anesthesia, American dental surgeon, who is in 1846 gave the first successful public demonstration of either anesthesia. During surgery, he is credited with gaining the medical world's acceptance of surgical anesthesia. On name stand out amongst all others, the founder of modern anesthesia is discussed, William T.G. Morton. A young Boston scientist, Dr. Morton has been in the search for a better agent than what he had been used by many other dentists, nitrous oxide. That time, if on teeth extracted in Trivandrum, the cry will hear in Kannur. Before that time, that much person will cry. In that time, Dr. William Thomas Green Morton, he was always thinking about it, how to do it. How? That time, I told you before that Bible quoting in the Genesis that God made fall into a deep sleep. God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. He touched that doctor and he found, how can we make a sleep, a deep sleep? That time we can make surgeries. That is from it came. Then again, we know that from the history that man heard Sora, how Sora came. Before that, man and woman, Adam and Eve, there is no Sora. When they heard a wrong message from the devil that is against the God voice, that time that knowledge made them sinners. They led a life that is not as per the Lord's principle. So that time, what Dr. Ken says that the first sin is the through it came Sora, that met that bad thing in human being. Here, from that time, psychological changes came. How do you know if you have inner demons? Here are a few signs you are battling inner demons. A few months back, one person came. He's a Muslim believer, and many times he approached my clinic and he did not enter inside. After that, he came. He told me that he cannot eat anything. And then he says that something coming, some feces are coming and flying inside my food. Whenever I am going to take food, that time it may come to my, it may flow into my plate and I cannot eat. After that, he said that some birds are coming and trying to coming towards his eyes. Is it a symptom? Is it a disease? He is a lean, very lean man. He cannot take any food, and always some flies are coming towards his eyes. That time after I asked him whether you are wearing any magical rings or threads. He told me that, yeah. I told you, can you see? Can you show me? That time he showed from his whole abdomen full of magical threads and everything. That time I said that after removing only, you will be healed. Otherwise, you won't be healed. These type of things, whenever they were, if in Mahabharata, they are in Mahabharata, this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says that there are three types of persons. Three types of, some are praying towards God. Some are praying towards demons. Some are having always, they are praying to their ancestors. These three type of Deva, Manushya, Asura. These three type of, whenever a man praying to God, he will, after his life, he will go to wherever he prayed. If he is praying towards his ancestors, then he will reach the ancestors. If there are somebody praying to demons, he will reach to demons. If there are many, there are three types of categories of man. That is Sattva, Raja, Tamo. These three types of gunas are there. One person, if a Sattva man, that is a real believer of God, if wearing a thing done by a demon worshipper, he will be suffer a lot. It will not suit with his body, and that time it may create problems. In so many cases, I have treated that. Before that treating that cases, I will say that you have to remove that threats. Otherwise, I cannot treat, I cannot do it. If one person, on a big writer here in Karakutam, that's Karakutam Tyagaraja. His children, they have, his son and his wife had chicken pox. I treated his bust, and that day evening, they called me. They called me that they both cannot take breath. I went there because they cannot move and they are both are gasping. But that time I saw some, they are wearing a thread. Both of them are wearing a thread. I told them that when you did this, they said after bathing, they did it. So I told them, you remove that, both of you remove that thread. Immediately after removing that thread, that gasping gone, and they get normal breathing. This is one of the things. Some wearing things, it is not advisable. Whatever you wear, such if you are a believer of God and you can take it from a sattva, but you cannot take it from man the demon worshipper. That is what called black magic. Black magic make many people. Why? Some people having to always want to kill others. Some evil thoughts, evil thinking, evil actions. They want to do every time evil thoughts and evil thinking. That time we have to we can see these are some of the symptoms. You feel like a dark cloud is looming over your head without any reason. You always feel like something isn't right. There is a nagging sense of shame behind all that you do. You are so afraid to fail, you don't even try. You feel like your brain is a bully. Without this, these are the reasons sometimes we may feel. So that we can see that in our all people are praying, and prayer will give this time relief. In some conditions, we can, in addition to that prayer, we can take our medicines that will come after that, after I can say that in following. What hypnosis means? Hypnosis is a treatment pattern. Hypnosis, the act of practice of producing a state like sleep in a person in which he or she will respond to suggestions made by the hypnotist. Hypnotism is a using. When a person, we know that you all know that there is a conscious mind, there is a subconscious mind, there is an unconscious mind. In the subconscious mind, whatever we take, whatever we hear, some will go into our subconscious mind. Some will go into the unconscious mind. Here in hypnosis, the doctor making the person in a hypnotic stage, in a sleep stage. That time he will ask them. That time they will say, sometimes they will say, they will open their mind. That time he will understand that this is also can be done in conscious mind. Whenever a doctor asks a patient deeply with good intention, he may open his mind. Some person may open their mind in their subconscious mind. That is in hypnotism condition. That time they are asking some questions and they will say that these are the conditions. I had have an experience. After that, I got this. I got this. These are the problem that I am. Why I am afraid. Some girls in their childhood, they may be abused by somebody, and that time they will react like something, they will act like something. Then whenever we get such cases, then we go through it and we can give some suggestions. That time in the subconscious time also we can give suggestions, and in the conscious mind, if we are taking that thing from the patient, that we will manage it. So that is what we are doing. These are the conditions where when we can use hypnosis in that time, and we can use till now. Pain control. Hypnosis may help with pain due to burns, cancer, childbirth, irritable bowel syndrome, fibromyalgia, temporomandibular joint problems, dental procedure, and headaches. Hot flashes. Hypnosis may relieve symptoms of hot flashes associated with menopause, behavioral change. Hypnosis has been used with some success in the treatment of insomnia, bedwetting, smoking, and overeating. Cancer treatment side effects. Hypnosis has been used to ease side effects related to chemotherapy or radiation treatment. Mental health conditions. Hypnosis may help treat symptoms of anxiety, phobias, and post-traumatic stress. These are the conditions we can make through bird's power. What I said that in the beginning, I told you that whenever using the word in the apt time, in the correct time, it may heal the patient. Some patients may say that, oh, after seeing you, my half of my disease is gone. Why? Most of the patients are saying this. The children may come. That time, parents may say that, oh, he was lying in the home with severe condition. But whenever he came to this hospital, that time he is free. That time or that type of relaxation may get. That is also a part of hypnosis. I told that demons. This is the class. This some diagrams. How a person is hypnotized. Image result. How does hypnosis work? During hypnosis, a trained hypnotist or hypnotherapist induces a state of intense concentration or focused attention. The doctor may focus on the person's mind and he exert a power on his mind and make them sleep. This is guided process with verbal cues and repetition. Words, they are using words and repeating words. They say to the patient that you lie, you relax. If the person have a will, the patient have a will and the patient want to get hypnotized, then only we can hypnotize. Otherwise, we cannot. If he is rejecting the doctor, he cannot hypnotize. Sometimes they can do if that much power a doctor have, that time. The trance-like state, you and may appear similar to sleep in many ways, but you are fully aware of what is going on. In hypnotized condition, the patient may sometimes, they may be conscious, half conscious. That time they will give. How long can hypnosis last? 16 minutes to 2 hours. This is the average time. And over it, Hahnemann says in that aphorisms that some persons are doing passing. Passing is also doing, I told you that what is passing on the body, where he is flowing his hand. If it is, in addition to that, if you are doing it, it may get, immediately you are doing repeatedly, you are doing that process, that patient may collapse. So if it is needed, up to what level, it can be understood by the doctor. That condition is over, then he allowed them to leave. And after that only, this process can be done. And over average, most sessions last from 16 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the therapist. In that session, your hypnotherapist will talk to you about what you wanted to change and why, and then about 20 to 30 minutes of that session on average is actual hypnosis. That I told you that one case, that person removed his all magical threats, and I treated, and I done with prayer and with medicine. After 4 days back, I saw that person in the town. He was, that time he said that everything has gone. He can take food. He can, no flies are coming towards his eyes. Nothing is coming and falling in the plate of his feces. He told me that feces is coming and flying and coming and flying, flowing in his food. That all gone. After going from this clinic, he is relieved, 100% relieved. I saw that that person is normal in this condition. So we must be very much careful in wearing whenever there is this type of threats should not be used. And then, does hypnosis actually work? But hypnosis has a surprisingly robust scientific framework. Clinical researchers have shown that it can help relieve pain and anxiety and aid smoking cessation, weight loss, and sleep. It can help children and adolescents better regulate their feelings and behavior. So this can be used. What hypnosis does to the brain? Hypnosis illustrates that the intervention modulators attentional controls, which modifies emotions and the nervous systems and interacts with past experiences in the subconscious. Suggestions during hypnosis and cause dynamic changes in brain activity. Hormonal changes can done. These are hypnosis and other some other things, some demons. This is from the scripture side. Then Lucifer, some person having pride, ahangaram. We call it as ahamkaram. They very proud. Beelzebub, gluttony, means taking more food than food. Never they will get satisfied. Satan's wrath, that is, wrath means increased anger towards growth. Envy, Leviathan, envy, this jealousy. Mammon, greed. Never their greed will, whatever they get, even the whole world, they will not be satisfied. Belfoser, sloth, lust. These are sometimes lust. We know that lust. Some persons very lustful, never get satisfied with sex. This is also, these are all considered to be some demonal effects. So it must be removed. We can give medicines. We know that some medicines are, we are dealing with that medicines. Before going to that, this is our hormonal changes may happen. Whenever hypnosis, there is melatonin, cortisol, hormones, sleep issues. What hormones cause sleep issues? As you approach your bedtime, cortisol production reduces you as melatonin production ramps up, helping your body prepare for sleep. Elevated cortisol levels can negatively impact your sleep, most often as a result of stress and electronic devices suppressing your body's melatonin production. This is what is happening in hypnosis. While doing hypnosis, melatonin will increase. That time, cortisol will reduce. While speaking to the patient, this is happening, normally happening, this condition. Whenever we are in a state of agitation, we will not get sleep because that cortisol quantity will be more. That time you will not get sleep. In such conditions, we have to make by soothing self-hypnosis. This is another method of treatment pattern practiced by the patient. He must be released from all tensions. How? First, he has to grip his hand, grip his whole body, contract all body, then relax it slowly. This he has to do for some time and take some deep 8 seconds. Within 8 seconds, take deep breath and kept for 8 seconds and slowly release it. This practice make whenever in a condition of shavasana, that is without any pillow, we lie down and take deep breath and slowly this practice make self-hypnosis. That time we can make this condition. Melatonin secretion start. Bowel movement suppressed. Midnight, we can see that if our daily life is like this, melatonin level, that time, deepest sleep in at 2 o'clock, lowest body temperature at 4:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m., and sharpest blood pressure rise. Melatonin secret stops. That time, we will become in an open mind, we will rise from our bed. This is the condition. We can see that this circadian rhythm, I told you last time, I told you that in circadian rhythm, this rhythm can be changed. If we are not living in a proper day-to-day life, it may change. So let us go to these other hormones. I told you that cortisol and sleep. The role of sleep in hormone production. While you sleep at each night, your body is at work, recovering from previous day and preparing for the next part of this process involves production and regulating many of your body hormones. Hormones are chemical, this hunger, appetite and blood sugar, circadian rhythm, and your sleep-wake cycle, sexual function, body temperature, cardiovascular function, muscle and tissue repair. A good night's sleep is vital to healthy hormone production and secretion. Poor sleep and short sleep duration can hinder not only hormone levels, but how your hormones are produced and how they interact with each other. This lead to hormone imbalance as well as commodities can result from imbalance like thyroid disease and this. So let us go to these other conditions, hormone production, and I just going to our medication part. Rubrics. The time is going to. These are the rubrics we can use. Magnetic state feels personal power increased as on walking. Magnetic state, feeling of personal power increased. Magnetic feeling of personal power increased, desire to be. Magnetic state, feeling personal power increased, easy to magnetize. Magnetic state, feeling of personal power increased, mesmerism, admiration. These are the medicines. If I got time, I might have gone to mind mapping that I take it in the next class. I am that is another part, mind mapping, how to map our mind. These are the medicines. These are the rubrics. Hyoscyamus niger, flamboyant stage of expectation of mania, locus, jealous, suspicious, sexual-minded, masturbation, absence. Next, opium, blissed out state, dream-like, peaceful, euphoric state, lack of reaction with insensitivity and sleepless. Next, Veratrum album, haughtiness, self-righteousness, delusions of being Christ. Next, verbascum, verb, earache, neurology of inferior branch of the trigeminal nerve. It is an important medicine we can use for trigeminal nerve problems. And phosphorus, bubbly, extroverted, outgoing. These are the medicines we can use. Silesia, and just going, calcarea carb, cupramet, natrum carb, sepia, belladonna, nexomica. I say on tip, for to get a good sleep, I use nexomica onum plus hyoscyamus onum. In minimum doses, take two, three, take for a few days. It may get good sleep. Nexomica and onum potencies, hyoscyamus. Thank you all. You can then now the time is over. So thank you all.